when he was asked, what's the most difficult thing in life? His response was, the most difficult thing in life is to know yourself. What do you think he said was the easiest? The easiest? To give advice. Okay, so let's look at Maslow's pyramid. You guys are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So at the bottom is food, water, shelter, clothing, sleep. And then there's safety and security in the form of a job, home, social structure. Next comes love and belonging. That comes from friendship, intimacy, and forming connections. Self-esteem, self-confidence, achievement, the desire to be a unique person. At the very top of the pyramid, the most important thing, a couple thousand years ago, self-actualization, self-realization, which comes from being creative, having meaning and purpose. So what makes them more valuable? Not the experience, portfolio, awards, education, staff, or studio size, which is oftentimes the answer I get when I ask this question. It's their ability to help others find their meaning and purpose. Because if that's the most difficult thing, is to know yourself. If you can help somebody know themselves, I would think that that's pretty valuable. And this can come in any form. Like if you guys make podcasts, if you produce video or animations, you can tell their story. You can help them to get to know themselves and tell that story. It can come in the form of an identity system. Some people refer to that also as branding. It can be expressed digitally, as in a website, or maybe on social media. How do you help somebody know themselves? It's through asking questions. So here's the first bit I want to drop on you. Your value is determined by the quality of the questions that you ask. Let me say this another way. The questions that you ask demonstrate your knowledge, experience, confidence, and therefore your expertise. So let's figure out what are some low value questions and some high value questions. So quantitative, fact-based questions like, what does it look like? When is it due? What's the budget? They're all important for getting that job done, but tend to be the lower value questions. These are the kind of questions I asked as I was embarking on my career. I just wanted to know the facts, okay? This will lead to checklists. And those of you guys that were part of the session yesterday, these are helpful, but can be pedantic, which is the word I was looking for, like overly concerned with the details. So let's go a level up. So this is my value scale there. So at the bottom is the minus sign, at the top is the highest. So we're moving above middle right now. Qualitative questions tend to be higher value. They are like, how did you come up with this idea? Describe how this looks in your mind. And how will you judge if this is successful? These are open-ended questions, and they invite the client to collaborate and participate with you. It also starts to change the dynamic that you have with your client. Because the first set of questions, the what, the detail questions, make you an order taker. Like, do you want fries with that? Like, you want it to red. You want it to be red. What shade of red do you want? How big should the typeface be? Should it be 68 points or 72 points? Right? So we've all maybe have had experienced one point in our life, and if you haven't, you're blessed to have a client want to sit down next to you or move the camera for you or whatever else it is that you're doing. So this is how they see you, as hands for creative work. So those are pretty good questions. Can we do better? I think so. The high value questions get to purpose. And they tend to cause people to be more reflective, like the kind of questions I've been asking you guys. So if somebody asks you to do something, ask them, why is this important? Why do you believe that to be true? And the mother of all questions is, beyond money, why do you exist? Why does this corporation, company exist? When companies lose their way because the CEO is no longer connected, the founders, I should say, the founders are no longer connected to running the company, they lose their way. They become profit-driven. They need to report to their shareholders, and they mess up. This is why oftentimes when the owner or the founder leaves, they bring them back. Or they hire large management consultancies to come back in to tell them what they're about again, which sounds like a strange idea, that you would pay a lot of money for somebody to come back and tell you who you are, to bring you back to your roots, your purpose. So if we look at it on let's see my animation here, okay? At the outside of the of the circle, the structure I drew here, are the symptoms. This is typically what the clients tell you. You know, I need this, I need that, and they start to tell you what it is. But if you keep asking the kinds of questions that I'm talking about to drive towards purpose, you can maybe find the cause of the symptom. We need a new website. Well, why do you need a new website? Because customers are complaining about the website. And you keep diving until you get to the core. This is where the true solutions live. So we ask questions to surface deeper meaning. Okay? So here's my little analogy of the onion, which is very popular to use. At the center is the core, the purpose and the meaning. What we want to do is we want to keep peeling back the layers. So what happens if you do? What does that look like? This is something that we refer to as discovery, and we charge money to do this. It's a framework of questions designed to surface deeper meaning. And here's the results of one. We help the client figure out that they exist to create a safe and supportive environment for individuals who have felt ostracized by society, so that they can form meaningful connections. How does that sound? That gets towards purpose. So are you guys asking these kinds of questions? Are you getting these kinds of answers? What do you think this is worth? And what would you pay to find out your purpose?